and big. And that's, to me, what's really in the air when I come here and I see people excited about what's happening and what you're doing. So I want to spend, the next half hour or so just giving you at least what I see out there as the possibilities and what we at Microsoft are focused on in terms of building platforms. Because at some level, to me, Microsoft has always been fundamentally about two things. We're a platform company and we're a partner company. And even in the age of AI, that's what's going to be true. But whenever you talk about these platforms and platform shifts, I think I lost my, okay. You always need to be grounded in what's the foundational force that's driving the platform shift. In fact, when I look back even my 35 years in tech, it's been about one fundamental force, which has been Moore's Law. I always recount, Bill used to bring a bunch of us together every year and he would just literally put the Moore's Law and then what's happening with memory and say, go fill it with software. That was just the single instruction to the entire company. And it's very true even today, right? When you think about the scaling laws that are powering AI and pre-training in particular, it's really Moore's Law at work again. And it started in 2010 with DNNs and then obviously the GPUs. They inflected again perhaps with transformers just because of the efficiency of data parallelism with transformers. And what was happening perhaps of doubling of capacity every 18 months started to double every 6 months. That's really what the scaling laws were. And by the way, there's all this debate, what's happening with scaling laws for pre-training, will they continue, have we hit the wall? We fundamentally believe the scaling laws are absolutely still great and will work and continue to work, but they do become harder, right? As the sizes of data become higher, the parameter counts become higher, the systems problems are bigger. So these synchronous data parallel workloads are new workloads, and so therefore that'll continue. But the more interesting thing that you are now starting to see is another scaling law with the inference time or test time compute scaling law, right? I mean, at some level, pre-training had that sampling step. This is sort of always about using that sampling step more efficiently. I think I've lost the mic. Just give me a hand mic. Just give it to me. No problem. So it's about being able to scale with even inference time that I think is going to really take this to the next level. So we're very, very excited about it. I mean, O1 and Think Hard, like to me, Copilot Think Harder has become the thing that I go to all the time. And that shows not just for sampling for additional pre-training, but to be able to use it during inference time to think harder and get you better results. So I think that these are capabilities that are just going to increase ultimately three things. One is this multimodal capability that we now have as the interface to all software, right? I recently set up, I guess there's this, I don't know what they call it, the action button, I think, on the iPhone. It's now set up to Copilot for me, and now I can sort of confidently speak in Hyderabadi Urdu to it, and it's beautiful. It understands me. It's like speaking to my high school buddies. And the fundamental idea that you can now have that familiar, simple interface with all of computing, I think is going to change every software category. Then you couple it with these planning and reasoning capabilities, right? So whenever you go to GitHub Copilot Workspace, right, that thing is invoking that ability to think about planning and executing that plan as a multi-step process, right? It's the beginnings of what is truly agentic behavior. And then the other side of it is to be able to stitch these things that are outside the system or outside of the model. Memory, context, tools use, and entitlements. So in fact, if anything, in the next 12 months, every developer is going to be really focused on how do I take my model and make it aware of the tools it can use, just beyond even function calling. How can I make sure it has the right understanding of its entitlements? How do I make sure it has memory and long-term memory? And that, to me, I think is what's going to truly help us create this rich tapestry of agents, right? When we think about agents, you stitch the multimodal capability, planning and reasoning,
and memory and tools used in particular plus entitlements, you can start building personal agents,